Did you know? While Dragon Ball Z has kept nearly its entire original Japanese voiced cast consistent since the beginning of the show, in some languages there are multiple dubs for different countries. Early fans of the long-running series' presence in America know of the Vancouver and Dallas dubs that both aired on TV, as well as a few other various English productions of certain movies, specials, and episodes of the show, depending on the rights holders in certain regions and where production took place. Interestingly enough, though, the Spanish-speaking world is faced with just as much complication. There are over 4 different Spanish dubs in various countries, each produced by different companies. As is the case with many 90s anime series, several of the international dubs for Dragon Ball Z were actually produced before Funimation's English production of the show. The Latin American Spanish dub, which aired in the US on Telemundo, has a shocking relation to its English counterpart. When the voice recording for Funimation's American dub had moved to their headquarters in Dallas, Texas during the late 90s, getting important materials from Toei Animation, such as the original Japanese footage, was a long and arduous process. So oftentimes, the footage the actors were working off of was, you guessed it, of the Spanish dub from Mexico. Possibly in tribute to this relation, the Spanish dub was also included on Funimation's Ultimate Uncut release DVDs. While Funimation's dub as it aired on American television had its fair share of censorship, script changes, and a replaced musical score, the Spanish dub was uncut with the original background music, and it even included Spanish versions of the opening and ending theme songs. America wouldn't receive anything along those lines until Funimation's dub of Dragon Ball, and much later with Dragon Ball GT, both of which featured English covers of their respective openings and endings. The legendary Japanese opening theme Cha-La Head Cha-La never got dubbed for America, but English versions of it do exist for other dubs, and even its original singer, Hironobu Kageyama, performed one. The Spanish dub also does have its own quirks and bits of weirdness scattered around. For example, the character of Chi-Chi was renamed to Milk due to her original name being a tad inappropriate in Spanish. Also, Vegeta was given a catchphrase of often referring to those weaker than him as insects, and a funny moment with fittingly insect-like Cell stealing his catchphrase.
Solo son unos insectos.
¡Ay, no solo me robó las células, también mis diálogos!
Of course, Mexico wasn't without its fair share of confusion and change as well, as the remastered Dragon Ball Z Kai series was not done with the Latin America dub's original cast. According to the dub's director and voice of Goku, Mario Castañeda, much of the original Spanish cast had actually turned it down due to the low payment, so replacement actors were used instead. However, the original cast returned when in 2013, an all-new Dragon Ball Z feature film, Battle of Gods, hit theaters in Japan. Likewise, both the entire Japanese and English dub cast were reunited to work on the film. On the English side of things, some cast members who hadn't been in the shoes of their characters for many years finally got to return to form. A few examples include Kyle Bear as the narrator, Meredith McCoy as Android 18, and Brad Jackson as Oolong, all of which who had been replaced on these parts during the production of Dragon Ball Z Kai's American English dub for various reasons. Interestingly, the J-rock band Flow, probably best known stateside for their song Go from the Naruto series, performed an English version of Cha-La Head Cha-La for the international release of the movie. Battle of Gods also introduced 2 very important new characters to the series, the God of Destruction, Beerus, and his assistant, Whis. On the Japanese side, Beerus was played by Koichi Yamadera, voice of Togusa from Ghost in the Shell and Spike from Cowboy Bebop, and had once filled in for the voice of Tien Shinhan in 2 episodes of Dragon Ball Z's original run. Whis was played by Masakazu Morita, voice of Titus from Final Fantasy X, and Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach, as well as previously portraying Vegeta's little brother, Tarble, in the Dragon Ball Jump Super Anime Tour special for the weekly magazine's 40th anniversary. Back to the English side of things, Beerus and Whis were portrayed by Jason Douglas and Ian Sinclair, respectively.
So self-important. If we cross paths again, I'll gladly wipe the entitled bugger out.
Impossible, I'm afraid. During your nap, someone already defeated Frieza.
Prior to the film getting licensed and dubbed in English by Funimation, the 2 new characters were featured in the video game Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. And so, casting needed to be done far in advance to make sure both characters were consistent with the eventual English release of the film. Funnily enough, carrying on with the video game connection, both Jason and Ian had previously worked on another DBZ game from 2 years prior, Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi. The game featured a customizable Saiyan character with 8 different voice options. On a side note, the energetic voice option was Josh Greeley, who a few years later would voice the new game-exclusive villain Demigra on Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
Amazing! I've got to unleash all my power here! I'm gonna put my all into it! Get ready, Piccolo!
You leave me no choice. I'll capture you and make you my slave.
Jason and Ian were the silent and cruel voice options for Ultimate Tenkaichi's customizable Saiyan character.
Oh, mighty one, let me test my strength. I will face you with all of my power.
Allow me to show you my strength. How nice. I was just wondering how much power I have in me.
In addition to that, the two actors also had some previous experience with other parts of the Dragon Ball franchise. Jason Douglas had taken over for Frieza's father, King Cole, during Dragon Ball Z Kai, and Ian Sinclair had previously voiced a robber in Dragon Ball Z Movie 13. With Battle of Gods being the first DBZ movie in 17 years to have a theatrical release, even being distributed by major film studio 20th Century Fox, as one might expect, a few celebrity cameos could be found scattered throughout. The most obvious one was Shoko Nakagawa, better known for her TV personality nickname Shokotan, as the voice of the seer, or oracle fish, that appears early in the film. Another quick cameo was in the form of judo Olympic gold medalist Kaori Matsumoto, who was in fact a big fan of the series. Matsumoto was illustrated to appear in the movie as a police officer and was voiced by herself as well. Interestingly, this police officer in the English dub was voiced by Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, a prominent voice director for anime series such as Naruto, Wolf's Rain, and Cowboy Bebop, just to name a few, and is also an accomplished voice actress herself, playing characters such as Jaguda in Wolf's Rain, Rosso the Crimson in Dirge of Cerberus Final Fantasy VII, Motoko Kusanagi in Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, and Nina Williams in Tekken Blood Vengeance, all of which happen to have been played originally by Atsuko Tanaka. Think that's a coincidence? Here's an even better one for you. We'd previously mentioned that LA-based voice actor Steve Bloom had once played Son Goku in the 1997 video game Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. He also ironically played the titular character from a show called Goku Midnight Eye. A few years later, in 2001, Steve also voiced the character of Guilmon on Digimon Tamers, who just so happened to be played in Japan by Goku's Japanese actor Masako Nozawa. By this time, Sean Schemmel had already been voicing Goku in Funimation's English dub of DBZ since 1998, and after later moving to New York, he went on to play several characters in the English dub of Pokémon, particularly a character named Morrison, who appeared in the show in 2006, who is also voiced by Masako Nozawa. As fate would have it, Steve Bloom and Sean Schemmel both dubbed Masako Nozawa on the part of Goku, and then again in the Digimon and Pokemon series respectively many years later. By complete and total coincidence. Thanks for watching. This video was inspired by Did You Know Gaming, so go check out their channel and watch all their videos about gaming trivia. Special thanks to Omahdon for the audio mastering, Paulo Quevas for the music, and Behind the Voice Actors and Kanzenshu for all the helpful research. If you like this episode, go check out some of our other ones here on the side, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more. See you all next time on Dragon Ball Z!